It's throwback time. This is a video I made years ago. It's probably been at least 7 years since I created these paintings and made this video. You can tell because my camera work is quite not up to standard, shall we say. This is probably one of the first projects I ever recorded. And I think this is actually my first time trying, or at least recording, a shellac burn. I had tried it a few times, but this is my first shellac burn on video. So let's see the things that I would change and what I've learned in the years since. So first off, I'm using a super tiny brush. Tiny brushes are fine, like when you're doing certain details or adding wax to certain places, but when you're just covering your boards, using tiny brushes like this just takes forever. So I would definitely recommend getting a wider Haka brush or a chip brush or something to make the application go faster. Because, those first few layers, you just want to get the wax on there. Now, I do like the altering between the white and the clear, because when you fuse, you can kind of get these cool little details that come through as the clear and the white kind of merge together. I will say that if you are fusing deeply, like you're melting all the wax and you're going for a really smooth surface, then you don't really have to worry about fusing every layer, because when you fuse that deeply, they're all going to get melted together. But otherwise, yes, every layer needs to be fused. So this is India ink that I'm using, and you cannot add India ink to shellac. India ink is water-based and shellac is alcohol-based, and they do not mix. I have actually tried it just to see what would happen, and yeah, they don't mix together. The ink clumps and gets your brush, whatever you're using, all sticky, and it's just no good. So you apply the ink first, you let it dry. I took these outside and sprayed them with shellac so that I could get the cells over the ink. And I do still use spray shellac sometimes. You can get some kind of cool effects with it. In this application, I'm not spraying very much on it, so the burn is not really that great. If you like using spray shellac, you really need kind of a generous application to really get some good cells. One of the things that I did too for this project is, before I knew better, after I would spray shellac, when you burn wet shellac, the shellac stays sticky. And it takes a long time to dry. What I did in this project is, to kind of counter that stickiness, I soaked up a lot of the shellac with a paper towel so that I could brush on another layer of wax. I do not do that anymore. I won't say that it's bad. It's just not the best practice. You lose a lot of color. You can get streaks and messiness, and it's just not good. The best thing to do is to let the shellac dry completely, because then you maintain the cells that you've created, you maintain the color, you don't lose any of that stuff, and the shellac will dry. It takes a little bit longer when you use spray shellac and burn it wet, but it will dry. It takes about a day or so, and then you can add more layers of wax on top. Even though I used some improper techniques and I didn't really do very well, I'm still kind of learning and teaching myself how to do these things. They still turned out well. So, you don't have to wait until you know these techniques perfectly to get a good result. You just have to start. You just have to start working, and you will get there. Like even if you mess up a technique or do it in, add some extra work or do things that might not be a best practice, don't worry about it. Now this is actually one of my favorite parts of this project. The white wax that I'm adding on top of the shellac burn to kind of melt into it. It's such a great finishing touch which once I finish fusing it. This is what this brush was made for, is details and strokes like this. Yeah, I love how the wax just kind of bleeds into the shellac because wet shellac burns kind of create pits in the wax. It's a different effect from dry burns, and it's really interesting. And so having the wax on top, the wax kind of spreads into those little pits that the shellac burn creates, and you get this really cool kind of feathering. Now, if you followed me for any length of time, you know that I love to add text to my paintings, and this is just an old calligraphy nib. It works. It actually works pretty well once you get used to it. It's very different from writing on paper, and you do get wax stuck in the nib every once in a while, so you have to clean it pretty frequently. It really takes these paintings to the next level. Now, these paintings have sold, but if you like this look, I do have a set of shellac burns that look fairly similar that are in this vein on my website, and that is linked below. So if you're interested in looking at those or purchasing those, you can go there. I have them in prints as well that are available. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll subscribe for more Encaustic content. See you in the next video.